keeps us warm. We can spend the night underneath the mistletoe. And I've gotten you a present that I put under the tree. Tomorrow it is Christmas, the first for you and me. The snow is falling down and the storm is on its way. But as long as you're around, everything will be okay. 'Cause all I wanna do is spend this holiday with you. Tomorrow it is Christmas, the first for me and you. I've longed for this moment to have you for myself, in a cabin out in nowhere, just us and no one else. I've decorated everything till we're perfect for this week. Tomorrow it is Christmas, the first for you and me. Another year went by, but the difference this time is that ever since July, I've been happier than I have ever been. It's safe to say that my love for you is true. Tomorrow it is Christmas, the first for me and you. I've longed for this moment to have you for myself, in a cabin out in nowhere, just us and no one else. I've decorated Tomorrow it is Christmas, the first for you and me.
That is a stunning piece of wood. I would have never thought in a million years that that would have ended up coming out. Don't even see it very well because it's so shiny. That's enough of that. Hey everybody, thank you for coming over. Hope you're all well. I thought that was enough of that. We don't want too much of that. So, thank you very much for coming over. Everybody who took part of the hashtag week, thank you very much. Your pictures were awesome. Video will go live tonight at 6 o'clock on YouTube. So hopefully everybody will be able to get out to see it and show everybody's great work. So thank you very much. And the next hashtag will be the 3rd of December. Excuse me, I just gulped a cup of coffee down, so sorry. Yeah, so 3rd of December will be the next one, so please come over and join us for that one. So, like I say, thank you to everybody who took part. Right, so today, as the title says, it's all about colour. So, I had two choices in my head. Nick's chosen the choice, so if it don't work, blame her. So, we're going to go for that. So, what I'm going to go for is I'm going to go for a shallow dish, bowl, whatever you want to call it, but with a wide rim on it, quite a wide rim on it. Maybe more like a platter really, and then put some, as it's autumn, we've been out yesterday and today and the trees are absolutely beautiful, the autumn colours, so we're going to try and get some autumn colours around the rim to bring in the for the time of year really. So that's what we're going to do. So I'm going to go over to the lathe and make a start on shaping, and Nick will welcome you all in. Oh no, she's not. She's going to have a little nap.
So good afternoon everybody, and welcome to Wizardry by Colin. Paul Finley, Woodturning at Home. Left his door open, sorry, I've just got to shut this door. Right, where was I? So, sorry, Paul Finley, Woodturning at Home. Mike Hugh, Ilminster. Pete from Twisted Tweez. Joe Senior. Doug Miller at Woodspun Around. Chris Dodds. Barry's Wood Creations. Klingspor Abrasives. Nice to finally meet you, Rob.
Hey, what did you say when you come home?
Where's all the wood? But we met him as well, didn't we? Where's all the wood butcher?
Did we?
No, maybe not.
I can't remember. I met so many people.
Steve Hale, met him and his lovely wife. Robert Boltwood, Len's handcrafted wood signs. Ruby Clare. We also have Terry Bartlett. We saw him as well. Nice to see you again. Roger Kent is on as well.
And his lovely wife Dawn.
Oh yeah, and Dawn.
Who we slightly abused at the table on the Friday night.
Oh, don't say that. Sounds rude. We've got Norman Greenwell. Andy the Valley Woodturner. Dr. Bob. God, it feels like ages since I've been on here. Mr. G's Wood. Done it again. Mr. G's Woodturning. I think it was there. Mark at Turn Again Krafts. We met him
Mark.
as well, didn't we?
Yeah, Mark.
Christine and Michael Hesseltine. Roy's the Boy. Door 60, we met him as well.
Yeah, we met Andy.
And Brian Lovins, welcome all to the chat. I think I've got everybody. If not, I do apologise. put a comment in and I will give you a shout out. Welcome.
How'd you get on with your fair yesterday, Roy? Who's in Steve's mic? Who's in? Oh, this crazes me. Every
Actually,
single.
me.
I don't understand why. It's just.
Debbie Gothard is on as well. Not heard that name, have you?
No. Oh, yeah, Debbie, I have, yeah.
Perhaps he just meant me, Steve. Because
I
I've
don't
been
know.
on for such a long time.
Right, so that's round.
Apparently you got an echo, Terry Bartlett said.
Oh, Jesus, this crazes me. There's nothing else turned on.
The trouble was, we went out, come back later than what we wanted, so it took a bit of time to get sorted out, because it always goes wrong if you've...
No, there's nothing gone wrong. There's nothing else turned on. There's no other audio devices turned on, so I don't know.
Can anyone else hear echoes? Can we just have a bit of a thing in the chat?
I don't
It
know
might
what
just
is.
be that their end rather than ours. Eric, Rob said the echo started as soon as you changed the camera.
Well, I don't understand because there's no other.
Well, you can't speak. Do you not do sign language? Hey.
No. There's nothing else. Nothing
Turn
else.
that camera off.
There's no audio on the cameras. All the camera audios are turned off.
I'm just saying turn that camera off and see if it's still happening.
Absolutely crazes me. There's nothing turned on. I just don't understand it. The only audio devices I've got are mine and yours. Everything else is disabled. Disabled, disabled, disabled. Jabra 2 on live. Mic, webcam, disabled, 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 disabled. Disabled, disabled. Everything's disabled.
Rock and Woodworks is on.
Good afternoon, how are you?
Paul Height and the Greavesbury Turners on. He said always happens when first going to overhead.
Don't know what it is. Don't know what it is.
Colin said it's not annoying, just carry on.
Yeah, I don't know what it is. It crazes me.
Unless you turn the overhead off and on again, see what happens.
Shouldn't make no difference. There's nothing activated. The only thing that's activated is our microphones. Every webcam is turned off.
Woodwork Learners on.
Good afternoon.
Lucy Bundy Rowe is on.
Alright, Lucy, how are you? Alright.
As we call her, Lucky Lucy.
Lucky Lucy, I've never known anybody so lucky.
Actually, I think it should be Lucky Little Lucy.
What are you going to say then?
Bless her.
Alright, so let's get this flat. I'm going to put a mortise in the bottom of this.
Ivy Woodshed's on as well. Oh,
Right, why? Right, so let's get a mortise hole in the bottom of this. So we can just go on to tail, actually rear back. So we're going to go there. Going to find our size for our mortise, which is 47mm. So around about there. So we'll just mark that.
Frederick's on. Rogan I'm going to try.
Give up before you start.
Yeah.
So what we're going to do is just mark
I'll
a little.
take it. Is Rex B on as well? Have I missed him? Sorry if I have. Yeah, Rex B's on. Sorry, Rex.
Right, Rex, I'm just going to mark a little line on the outside for a foot. Quite a wide foot, I think, on this one. Nothing too narrow.
Right, so they've just said that now you've switched the camera, the echo's gone.
I don't know, I'm baffled.
He'll have a look at it in the week and just...
I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to get rid of every single camera seen on OBS and start afresh. Trouble is, it's just took me 2 years to get all the settings that I want, but never mind. Right, let's go on overhead. See if it comes back now. I go on overhead. So using the gouge to get a nice continuous curve on this. Oh, right down my mouth. Ooh. So let's get this curved. That went down the wrong hole, that did, that bit of wood.
You're not supposed to eat it.
They're not classed as one of your 5 a day.
Chris said no echo now.
Yeah. What about now if I go on over and tail? What about now?
That's what I say. Rob just said, I think it's when you have 2 cameras going in.
But I don't understand because, like I say, all webcams are turned off.
Grandpa Jim's on.
Oh, Grandpa Jim, how you doing, bud? Thanks for coming over.
Have you put the overhead on?
Yep.
Oh, it's a bit slow.
Don't get you a few seconds behind, don't we?
You? There we go. Right, let's see if it's gone now. Yep, that's back apparently. Something to do with that overhead.
Right, okay. Well, it's not the overhead, that's this tail one here. This one here. But like I say, it's disabled, but I will sort it.
Woodwork learner said I get an echo when thinking hard.
Is that what you don't do right from Andy?
Not think
Right.
hard.
Yeah. So some nice little pull cuts. Keeping my handle low. So our action is that we're using this as a slicing action rather than a scraping. If we bring our gouge in like that, we're scraping, so you get little tiny bits off of it. You bring it in as a cutting action, so handle low, using that as a slicing action. We'll get some nice strings off of that. Gives you a nice even cut. Nice and slow. It's a piece of sycamore this is, so should cut fairly nice. Dry. Kiln dried, so no moisture in it really. Maybe only about 8 to 10%. So I'm just trying to get that continuous curve. Actually, what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a bit of an OG shape in here. Just because we're going to put a bit of a wide rim on it. I think that'll look better with a little bit of an OG shape in here. So we've got a little bit of a hump. When I'm turning, I'm looking here so I can see my shape. So we can see we've got a little bit of a hump in there. So we're just going to gently refine that. I don't want to be touching this foot really. So we're going to be nudging our tip of our gouge up against our foot. We're just going to gently roll that around to bring in our shape. So you can see now I've got a nice continuous curve there. So just give it one more pass just to refine that a little bit. Don't want to take too much off of it because the front's not quite even, so we're going to lose a couple of mil off the front to even that up. So now we can go to the tail and remove our tenon, no, our mortise even. So get a little bit of speed on there. No, wrong camera, Stephen. That one you want.
Any little fly in it.
Oh no, I had one in there the other day when I was doing stuff.
Fire emergencies on as well.
Good afternoon. Right, so we're just going to get our skew. Just put a little tiny bit of a dovetail inside there. Just so it gives us a little bit better grip with the chuck. So let's put it on that camera so you can see. So just a little tiny dovetail in there. It's not very sharp, Steve. Cool, that's blunt. Try something else. Let's try that.
Wooden burls on as well.
Wooden barrel.
Yeah, I've not heard of them before.
Good afternoon. I'll just go back to that skew and just finish that. That's better.
Yeah, there's not much we can do about the echo, I'm afraid, at the moment.
Is it still there?
Yeah, they said it went change. Doug said echo went away just before camera change. Robert said echo on tailstock.
Yeah, it's definitely something to do with that
Haley is
tailstock.
wooden burl.
Yeah, it is. So we're just going to use that just to flatten that off. Just to put a little bit of a flat on there. Definitely something to do with the tailstock, isn't it?
You'll sort it. You always do.
Right, so that's our bottom all done. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to put a few,
Steve said bottom.
couple of little detail lines in there with a small skew, just to look like we really thought about it. So
Colin said it's gone now. Strange. Never mind. It's normally me got the echo, so.
So just a couple of little lines.
Echo. No.
No.
Okay.
Don't encourage her. Don't encourage her. Right. So
No, all his cameras are disabled. Who's Dire Emergency? What's his name?
Dire emergency. Can't remember.
No, anyway, that's all.
Everything's turned out. Every webcam I've got, which is 7 or 8, they're all disabled. So, well, I don't know. We'll keep off of the tailstock anyway. Right. So that's all ready to sand up. So let's get that sanded up quickly. So I'm going to sand that from 120 because we're going to leave the bottom natural. Going to sand that from 120 up to 240, and then we will Yorkshire seal it and Yorkshire grit it. So we'll get the extraction on. Strange though, because it was all right on Wednesday, Friday night.
James Cassidy's on.
Hi James, how you doing?
Met him as well.
You did?
I do remember some of the people I met.
I'm just going to check, make sure we get rid of any tool. Well, there weren't no tool marks anyway, but we'll just double check. So we'll just do this edge, sand this edge as well, but we're just going to refine that when we do the front, but we will sand it at the same time. So we just get a little bit of 120 just to clean inside our mortars.
So Robert said, did everyone spend lots at Harrogate?
No. I was a good boy.
I did try and spend his money, but he weren't having a lot of that. Roy said he did okay yesterday.
Good man.
James just put, hope everybody's okay and they're recovering from spending too much at Harrogate.
I
think Temporary Terry probably spent the most.
So that's 180. Just clean this up and we'll do the 240. So final one, 240. Just remember when using your inertia sand not to push too hard, because all you'll do is cause heat, and the pads will start delaminating.
Pete put $12.99.
We know that's not true, Pete.
Jennifer's Crafts and Creations is on.
Hi, Jennifer, how are you? All right, so that's up to 240. So we're ready to.
Oh, Roy said he got his package from Barry.
Good man.
Rob said the only thing he bought at Harrogate was an egg mayo sandwich.
You tight ass.
Brian at Woodturning's on. He's in the workshop today.
Well, Brian, how you doing, bud? To be honest, I was wandering around on the Saturday at 2:30, trying to find things to buy, and I basically couldn't find nothing to buy, so I thought I might as well go back to the hotel and chill out. Right, so that's sanded up to 240. So let's get that sanded sealed. We use the wipe-on sand. Oh, nearly empty. I need to fill that up. We use the wipe-on sand and sealer.
Roger Kent's on.
Hi, Roger. So sand and sealer, chestnut product sand and sealer, diluted 60-40, 60% sand and sealer, 40% cellulose thinners. Now I know Terry Smart says you don't need to thin it, but it's down to everybody's own principle, or what's the word? Not principle, preference.
Preference, yeah.
Preference. I prefer it thinned because I find it soaks into the timber better and seals it, gives me a better finish. Therefore, I can get a better shine on it when I put my wax over the top of it. So we're going to give us a couple of coats of sand and sealer. Let it dry in between coats. You're better off giving it a couple of thin coats than you are one thick coat. So we'll just let that dry. Got a bit of spot on it.
Lucy said she didn't think the food was too badly priced at Harrogate.
I don't know, I didn't have any, to be honest. Not food anyway. I had my breakfast at the hotel and my evening meal at the hotel. That was about it. So we're just going to denib that. Just take any high spots down where the grain's swollen a little bit.
That stinks.
It's potent, isn't it?
Mm.
Hard bit there. Bit of sand and sealer, I think. So we're going to give it another coat, just to make sure it's sealed correctly. You're looking for a continuous sheen on your piece, then you know it's sealed correctly. You'll end up, if you don't get it sealed properly, you'll end up with high dull spots and shiny spots when you come to wax it, because where it's not sealed correctly, the wax will soak into the timber and you won't get a shine on it. So it's better off spending that little bit of time just to make sure you sealed it properly. So just going to let that dry off, and we're going to denib that again. So let's just denib this again. What's going on in the chat? Anything? Or you fell asleep or what?
No, just having a little chat. Just saying hello to everybody. Pete said there is a high possibility the hotel bar bill may have been the most expensive bill at Harrogate.
Right, so let's get some wax on that. So as always, going to use Hampshire Sheen high gloss wax. My go-to wax. I do like the Hampshire Sheen. That and the microcrystalline. So As always, less is more. You don't need a massive amount of wax, just a low amount of wax, just enough to cover your piece. If you put too much on, when you come to buff it up, you just burnish it all off because you put way too much on. You just need enough to cover your piece. Work it in nice. You can always go back and put a second coat over it, or third or fourth, however many you want to put over it.
Dyer said, what pad do you use to denib?
The pads I use are the Chestnut products. I believe they do three. I think there's a red one. I believe it's red, yellow, and white. Oh yeah, it is red, yellow, and white. I've got some here. I'll show you. So you can get white is virtually zero. The yellow is about 600, and I think the red is maybe 400. Not 100% sure, but I use the yellow and the white most of the time. The only time I really use the red is if I've got some stubborn bits that I need to try and get rid of, and then just go over the top with that, and then gradually work through the grits. But they come in a bigger sheet like that. I cut them into 3, so you get 3 out of each one. All right, so we're just going to buff this off. Again, we're using the pads of our fingers, light pressure. Don't need to push hard. If we push hard, we're just going to burnish off our wax. We're just gently rubbing over to create a little bit of warmth between our tissue and our wax, just to buff that off. Here.
So, Wooden Burl said, Brian, I may have missed it as late in, but any news when you'll be back on live?
Thursday night, Brian should be back. So that's the first coat, so let's give it another coat, just a light coat. Always like to give it 2 coats if I can. See, everybody laughs about the $12.99 thing in the world, in the wood turning world. Look, $12.99. See, it does happen. Right, so we're just going to buff this off again. This will be our final coat on the bottom. We're just going to buff this up, just taking off the excess wax. You can see the shine coming up on it. So what I'm going to do is just get a bit of safety cloth, if I can find a bit. Not in that drawer, not in that drawer.
Shut you down.
Let's have a look in this drawer. Drawer
Amy's on?
Oh, Amy, is there a pair of scissors on that bench, Nick?
Yeah, 2 pairs.
I bet both of them are blunt.
Them black and red ones look familiar.
They
come out of my house.
Don't be daft. I need some more, really. I should have got some while I was in B&M.
No, we need to go to Dunelm.
Oh, okay.
Benjamin's on.
Right, Ben, how you doing, mate?
And Brian said you're correct. He'll be back on Thursday at 7:30. Woodsley Bees is on as well.
Good afternoon. So I'm using the chestnut safety cloth. The good thing about the safety cloth, if it catches, it'll tear easy, as you can see. It's not a fabric. Well, it is a fabric, but a woven fabric, so it's not tight knit. It'll tear quite easily. So if you do get a caught on it, anything, that should just tear off and not drag your hand or anything else into the piece. But I like the safety cloth because it's just got that little bit softer than tissue. You can just get that little bit better shine on your piece. And the good thing is they come in a big sheet. This is half the size of the sheet because I cut them into 4. So 1, 2, 3, so on and so forth. So you get 4 out of each one, and you don't use 1 per piece. You can always use it for other bits as well. So that's the bottom all polished up. just a basic bottom of a bowl, platter, whatever you want to call it. So like I said earlier, I want to try and keep the rim quite wide. Oh, you stupid boy, Pike.
What are you doing?
I made the mortars too small. I should have stayed in bed this morning. Let's just open up a little bit.
Oh, Kentucky Iron and Wood. Good morning, all. Brian here. It's been a while. Happy holidays, all. I need a bit of advice on keeping the corners sharp and crisp on my turnings. Want me to say it again?
Yeah, please.
He wants advice on how to keep keeping the corners sharp and crisp on my turnings.
Okay, is that when you're sanding or when you're actually turning? If you're getting dull corners when you're sanding, that's because you're rubbing the sandpaper over the edge of your piece rather than trying to keep it square flush with the edge. What I do is when I am sanding, if I'm using an arbor like this, as soon as my as soon as my
He said both.
as soon as my sanding arbor comes flush with the edge of my piece, let's say this is my piece, like that. As soon as my sanding pad is flush with the edge of my piece, I don't go no further. As soon as you start going past the edge, the pad naturally will try and curve over the edge, and that's when you'll end up with a rounded edge. If you want to try and keep a nice sharp square edge, don't take your sanding pad any further than the edge of your workpiece. That will help you. As for turning, that is down to sharp tooling really. If you've got a nice sharp tool, that should cut a nice crisp line.
Pete said, sorry, Steve, jinxed you. Just got my lid stuck on the base. Pete's fault. Blame Pete.
I mentioned that, I can't believe that. You know what that is, don't you? That's take more care and less speed. Right, so 240. I'm not gonna Yorkshire grit that a little bit in there. I'm just gonna sand and seal it and wax it. Right, so that's up to 240. Put that there. Stop that. A little bit of sand and sealer. Will be a little bit of all because there's not a lot in the bottle.
You know, like when we had this conversation about doing the thing for the Hoover, right? And I forgot to order the bits because you said you'd have a go at replacing it. Do you think I can find them bits again? I can find a replacement wheel, but I just cannot find them other bits to replace it.
Not a replacement wheel. Right, so let's just deal with that.
I know it was. Oh, Susie Swiss Woodturners on.
Oh, Susie, how are you?
She was out on her motorbike.
Right, so let's just get a little bit of wax in there.
Still can't find it. Haha, I got them. Oh, they weren't £7, were they?
Can't tell you that. Right, so that's that little bit modified. Let's try again. Yay, it fits. Right, so like I said all along, I want quite a wide rim on this.
Copper Hour Woodturners on as well.
Right, Rob, how you doing? I think that's Rob. So what we'll do is we'll face this off, and then I may just put a tram line in it, colour it, and then we'll turn out what we don't know. Whether I'm going to undercut it, I'm not sure yet, but we will see. So let's just clean this off. Tool rest a little bit high, so let's drop that. Nice and flat.
What Susie's got a question. She said, "What wood is it? It looks very beautiful."
It's a piece of sycamore, Susie. It's got a nice grain pattern in it, hasn't it? Just need to clean up a little bit more because it's not been touched there. Got a nice, looks like it's got a piece that's just started to spout in places. So it's a nice piece of wood. Shame I'm going to colour it. It's dirty, eh? Really dirty. Oh, I think that's in the wood. I thought that was dirt, but that's not. It's actually in the wood. Right, so what we're going to do is just sand that up. I'm going to sand that up to 400, so from 120 to 400. The reason I'm sanding to 400 is because I'm going to colour it. So we're going to go all the way across, because like I said, we don't know how far we're going to take through.
Got Woodsley Summercraft on
Hi Rob, how you doing?
and said, "Are you using the carnival colours?"
No, I'm not, unfortunately. But I have a video coming out in the next few days with the carnival colours on. The carnival colours are very vibrant colours, beautiful colours, absolutely beautiful colours. So we're just going to quickly sand this up to 400. Whoops, not like that one, not. So the other thing is to keep your corners sharp is when you come to the edge, well, two things, not to push too hard on your sanding pad, because if you push too hard on your sanding pad, as soon as you come to the edge, it's going to try and naturally curve round. And the second thing is when you come into that edge, stop. So like there, stop there. Don't go no further than that. Because if you do, you're going to end up with that edge rounded. Now, I'm not bothered about this edge being rounded, because I'm going to round off a little bit anyway. But if you want a nice sharp corner, then you need to stop before that edge.
Bailey Woodworks is on.
Hi Bailey, how you doing? I think he's got a different name. Can't remember what his name is. I think it's Chris. Is it Chris? Correct me if I'm wrong. So I've got one more. Last grit 400. Right. Put all the stuff out of the green. So what we're going to do is we're going to seal that now. And then we're going to put a base coat on that. So there are autumn colours stand out more. So let's seal that with some sand and sealer. If I've got enough in my bottle. So let's get this sealed. So as before, we want to make sure it's sealed really well. Maybe put a couple of coats on it. Nibbing in between coats.
Right, I'll be back in a sec.
Bring us a drink back, babe, please.
Bring what?
A drink back, please. No, squash, please. Yeah, please. Right, so let's give it a... Actually, do we denib that first? It's not risen the grain hardly at all on there. A little bit there, but... Let's just give it another coat first and see what happens. It's got a little bit of toyance in this bit of wood. End grain is where you're going to get... End grain and loose grain is where you're going to get the issue of soaking in. Tight grain won't be too bad because the sand and sealer won't be able to really soak into it very much. So that won't penetrate so deep, but obviously loose grain and end grain is going to be quite open, so the sand and sealer will soak in quite a lot. Right, Mark, how you doing, bud? You all right? Right, so let's just check that. Let's denib that. We're just going to denib this. Again with our Scotch Brite. I always use the yellow one to denib my sand and sealer. And then if I need to denib my colours, I use the white one because they're not quite so aggressive. Like I say, the white one's really quite high grit. Right, so that's all sealed. Hey, babe. Thank you very much. That's all right, it's wet. Thank you. So it's all sealed. We are now ready to put our base colour on there. So we can do one or two things. We can put a tape along our edge.
Sellotape.
A sellotape, any tape, masking tape, whatever, along our edge, so we don't blow it over the edge. Or what we can do is we can blow it across our piece that way, so it just gently curves over the edge of our piece, which is what I prefer. I don't like to see a sharp line. I like to see a nice gradual line feathering in. So what we're going to...
Turnings on, Dancers with Hardbacks is on as well.
Good afternoon. How is everybody? Hope you're all well.
Oh, Mark Guess is on.
Mark, I did say hello to Mark.
Oh, sorry.
So I'm going to use chestnut ebonizing lacquer because it gives a nice satin finish.
Yeah, Bailey Woodworks is Chris.
Yeah, thought it was. So I'm going to blow our colour across that way, just gentle strokes, and that should give us a nice gentle feather edge line on there. It shouldn't be too harsh on there. It should just like dust over the edge. What is Steve's preferred squash ratio, water ratio? Depends on the juice spent. If it's Tesco's, it's like 3 or 4 millimeters of squash to a pint of water, and the other stuff, high juice, whatever, it's like, I don't know, 15 ml of squash to a pint of water. So I don't like it very strong anyway. Right, so let's get this just gently blowed in. Might have to give this 2 coats, but we'll just see how it goes. Again, we're just going to blow it over gentle, trying to get a coverage in one go, which would be nice, but not too heavy. Trying to get even coats so we don't end up with ripples or runs in it. So if I come over onto the overhead camera, you'll see what I was talking about with just, you can just see the black dust line on the edge here. So you've not got a sharp edge. Now if you'd have come in here and sprayed this way, all this and all the back would have been covered in black. With going that way across, away from you, the natural paint is just feathering over that edge and just finishes that edge off a little bit. So when we come to colour, we can take a little bit of colour onto that black so you don't get such a sharp finishing line. So let's just get a hot air gun on there and just gently warm that up a little bit. So you don't want this too hot.
What about learn a bit now? We watch paint dry.
Don't want it too hot, you just want warm air coming out of your gun. Make sure you turn your gun on before you point at your piece, just in case there's dust and dirt in it. So just warm air blowing over this. Got a little bit of pick on the middle, but it don't really matter because we're gonna turn that out. So we need this touch dry. And then we'll try and find some autumn colours out. So we want yellows, oranges, reds, browns. Let's take a little bit longer to dry in the middle there because that's quite thick.
Bit like oh, sorry. Uh-oh, what you done, Mark? He's just been banned from using the new air fryer.
You can't dry glue in it.
Woodsley Summercraft said I usually miss a lot of these lives. Work often gets in the way.
Oh, thanks for popping over, Rob. Anyway.
Klondike Craftsman's on.
Hi, Lewis, how you doing? A bit tacky in the middle there. Then we'll just stop that. Let's get in there. But don't be tempted to get too much heat on this ebonizer lacquer, because if you do, it'll start blistering. Once it blisters, there's nothing you can really do. You're better off just taking it all off, and it's easier just to take it all off and start all over again. So just like I say, just a warm air, no warmer than about 10-15 degrees, just gently blowing over it. It's the actual airflow that dries up, not the heat. What's the matter?
Mark says he's just discovered you can't cook eggs in that.
Well, they run out at the bottom, Mark. Right, so that's dry now. So we're all dry. Let's turn that off. So what we need to do now is get our colours out. We'll just give that a couple of more minutes to dry off then. So obviously autumn colours, we're looking for yellows, browns, reds, blues, greens. No, I'm joking. We're looking for all the natural colours. So I've got some acrylic paint. Oh, as everything falls out of the cupboard.
Wait a minute, you brag about how tidy all your cupboard is.
No, how tidy it is on the outside. Inside the cupboard, I don't say nothing about. Right, so we want yellows. So we've got a yellow there. That's a light yellow. We want a dark red. And maybe a little bit more of a crimson and a red. A couple of shades of brown. That's too dark. That one and that one. So let's have a look here. What we've got here. Do we need a green? No, we don't need a green.
Woodwork Learner said airbrush this time, Steve.
No, not airbrushing it. No, not airbrushing it. Colours are too thick because they're acrylic paints. Look. So I've got light brown, yellow, OCHRE. What's that spell, Nick?
Sorry?
OCHRE. What's that spell?
Ochre.
Yellow ochre.
Old Man River Woodturners on.
Was another yellow ochre there. Look, suppose that both of them.
Wee! Don't be rude.
Good afternoon. So there's two yellow ochres there, but they're both different colours. So we'll see what they come out. Brilliant red and crimson. Do I need a green? A dirty coloured green, do you think? Don't everybody shout at once. I'm talking to you, Nicola.
Oh, sorry, I was reading the chat.
Don't lie, you can't read. There's another light brown there. Is that
Heather
light
Spirit, Wind, Wood and Stone and Bones on. Woke up to snow on the ground this morning.
Oh, wow. Lucky person. We will just put a little bit of green just to lift it up a little bit. Right, so I'm going to use... What am I going to use? Sponge or bubble wrap? Decisions. As you can see, I've really thought about this project.
Yellow and orange.
Oh, orange. Yeah, that's good. An orange one.
Match my hair.
A little bit of orange. Don't want a lot of orange. Well, I can blend those colours in with others to give us another colour. Right, so I need a bit of bubble wrap. Need a bit of paper to blend the colours on. Scissors. Get a bit of bubble wrap from out here. So we've got small stipples or big stipples. Small stipples, I think. So just cut some bubble wrap. If the scissors are cut for it. I could chew through that quicker, I think. Right, so some bits of bubble wrap. Right, so let's go for our darkest colours first. So let's have a little bit of brown. Suppose I'll put gloves on, really. So
Yellow. Apparently, yellow ochre is not very bright.
Oh, okay. Right, well, let's try brown first. I see you've got two light browns there, but they're two different colours. So, I don't know.
Apparently, it's Chris Parker's birthday.
It is, the Bald Woodturners, yep. I wished him happy birthday. Right, so as always, just dab the bubble wrap onto it. Dab some of it off so we're not overloading it, and then just stipple it on.
Robert said, "Are the colours from the range?"
They are from the range. Always from the range, Robert. You should know that by now.
Oh, you let me down, Pud.
Why? Why would I know? All right. Well, you should be used to it by now.
Yeah. That's nice. That's nice.
It's nice.
Sounds like Mrs. Brown. That's nice.
So that's just basically our base.
Basically, base.
Basically base. It's all about the base. So let's go for. So these are two different. I don't understand. These are. Let's just pierce them and see if they're the same colour inside the tubes.
And James Cassidy said, "Ooh, that looks nice."
So if you look at those, look, they are both exactly the same yellow, whatever the word was.
Woodsley Summer Craft said, "Can they see the containers, please?"
Yep, they're the containers. They're dollar, rolling, whatever
Don't
they are.
they come in a pack?
Yeah, they come in a pack. I think you get 24 colours. But both inside those two, even though those bars are the same, they say the same, they're different colours, but inside is exactly the same colour. It's like a mustardy
You
yellow.
need to turn it around a bit so you can see the actual name, Pud.
There you go. You see it now? So I'm going to do a bit of yellow. And these are quite watery. So you need to fold your bubble wrap quite tight, because if not that gets beyond where you. But you don't need to be pushing hard, you just want light touches on your piece. If you push too hard, you'll end up getting the backing touching the.
Amy's got to go. Take care.
See you later, Amy. Thanks for coming over.
Lucy said they've just been to the range.
I like the range.
Woodwork Learner said they're fairly good student quality paints, reasonable amount of pigment in them. They
Yeah,
weren't
they
that
are.
expensive, were they?
No, they are. I like the range because they do good quality paints in there. You pay a little bit more for them, but they are good.
Let's see if I can find it for you. Pass me one of them bottles so I can see what it is.
So as always, you can always go back over and put another colour over the top. So we're just trying to get randoms. We want a little bit of brown coming through. Oh, that's what happens when you push too hard. It's not the last colour, is it?
Want some water?
No. So we can always bring a little bit more
So
brown.
now I'm on that. If I copy that over to the chat.
Yep. Alright, so let's have a little bit of green next, I think. Just a little bit of green.
Now try that Woodsley Summercraft.
Well, Rob's in Canada, I think, or America, so.
He said, Woodwork Learner said they should actually have a number on them.
But you can get them online.
No, these just say like yellow ochre. There ain't actually no number on it. It says for USA only. Simply acrylic. Yeah, I've just put the link in. Don't know if that'll work for you. Give it a go and see. Yeah, these have just got the name on them. There you go, mate. Can't see the orange very well now.
I ain't put orange on yet. That's perhaps why.
Oh. You're welcome, mate.
Right, I'm going to keep them because we can always go back and put a little bit more.
Pete said, do some muddy green underneath. It looked like my lawn after the high winds last week stripped the trees. Woodwork Learner said Pound Shop used to sell them too.
Well, they're a pound.
Mm.
Some of the stuff you buy in the pound shop ain't a pound no more. Which I think is deceiving. Right, so
Doug Miller's got to go. Take care, mate.
see you later, Doug. Thanks for coming over. So it's a little bit of orange. Right, that's enough
Roy's got to
orange.
go as well. Take care, Roy.
See you later, Roy. Thanks for coming over. Right, bit of red. So I'm going to go for crimson, maybe. Crimson red, I think, rather than brilliant red. Oh, maybe not crimson. Oh, there it is. That was a bit hard then. It's a bit thicker compared to the rest of them. Oh, she's thick.
Piece of rude.
It's like meeting a family member, that is.
Pete says his lathe bed needs cleaning and waxing. Moving the tool rest has that fingernails on blackboard sound.
Hi,
Alex of Wooden Things is on.
Alex. How you doing, mate? Right, so I don't want too much red in there, I think. Just that'll be enough, I think. Maybe I'm just going to put a little bit more brown. Because you can't really see the brown on there. So what brown did I use? This one here, I think. So just a little bit of brown. sort of bring in some of those autumn colours.
Yeah, sea sponges are good, aren't they?
Yeah.
You've got some, haven't you?
Yep. Well, that's what the toy was, where I used sea sponges or all these. A little bit more red on that. A little bit of bright red, because that crimson's quite dark. Just not a lot though, just a little tiny bit. Oops.
Bob P is on from Alexandra, Virginia.
Hello Bob, how you doing? Thanks for coming over. Some nice new faces in the chat today. Thanks everybody for coming over and saying hello. Very
Mike,
much.
you said Steve will need a leaf rake to finish this one, not a bowl gouge.
Does it look like autumn though? That's what I'm asking. Does it? Am I going on the right track? Does it look like autumn, or am I just making a mess?
Autumnal.
Or am I just making a mess?
No comment.
You shut it.
You wouldn't have any other way. I tried to get a bit coming out today, but he wouldn't let me. So
I said to her, she said, "Do I have to do your lives?" I said, "Well, your fans are calling for you. They haven't heard from you for ages."
I'm sure I wouldn't be missed.
No, I don't think you would be. Everybody who met me on the Saturday said, "Where's Nikki today?" When I was at Harrogate. Where's Nikki? Where's Nikki?
Spending money. Ooh, Alex is just starting the third week of recovery after hip replacement. Ouch.
Oh, hope you're okay, mate.
James Casty's got to go.
See you, James.
He's got to go clean his gutters out. So he's gonna get. He said, "Goodbye, guys. Off to go up some ladders to get rid of what Steve's colours look like in my house gutters. Leaves." Pete said, "When you use sea sponges, how do you get the paint off before sneaking them back into the bathroom?"
You put them in the washing machine, Pete. With your trousers. Leave them in the pocket of your trousers. Right, that's it. I ain't doing no more. Hopefully that looks right. If not, we're...
Barry's got to go. He's got to take the grandkids home.
See you later, Barry. You can breathe when you get rid of them, Barry. Right, so...
Woodwork Learner put, we missed the carrots too, but not as much as you, Nikki.
Oh, you creep. Ain't what you said on Saturday when I saw you, Andy. Right, so let's just dry it off with a hot air gun.
Dance of Aardvark said, I'll be raking and vacuum up leaves all week, so I don't know how I feel about this. Should give you some ideas as you're sucking them up the old vacuum.
Right, so we'll just get this dry. Shouldn't take long to dry because they're water based. I've just got a little bit of red there, it's a little bit thick. So just waiting for that to dry out. And then what I'm going to do is I'm just going to get a little bit of sandpaper on this edge. There's a couple of little places just where I've gone over, but because we sanded and sealed it, that paint won't have gone into the wood. So just a gentle sand over will get rid of that. And then we're going to just put a light coat of acrylic sand and sealer over the top just to protect it. I think that's dry now. So let's just get a little bit of sandpaper and just clean that edge up. So we'll just go back to our 320 grit and just gently rub that on there. That should just take away any colour that we've got on that edge, which it has. So we just go with a little bit of 400. And we shouldn't have to re-sand and seal that because the sand and sealer should have penetrated in further than what we've just taken off. But if you want to, you can do, but I'm not. Well, I will do actually, because just in case, we just get a bit.
Woodsley said, "What's your preferred sand and sealer?"
I use, depending on what I'm doing, Rob. If I'm doing things like this, I use chestnut. Finned, I always fin it. But if I'm doing using the intrinsic colours, then I'll use Martin's pre-finned because I think it works better with the colours, to be honest. Right, so that's just sealed. So now we're just going to give that a light dusting with acrylic lacquer. Now the idea of the acrylic lacquer is not to give it a shine. It's just basically to seal our colours. So they're not going to get attacked by UV. They're not going to fade. They're just going to have a little bit of protection on them. And then when we come to cut the middle out with the dust, the air gun should just gently blow it off. So just a light coat of sand and sealer. Again, blowing away so I don't get it over the back of my piece. And as you can see, that just brings those colours a little bit more vibrant as well by putting that little bit of sand and sealer, not sand and sealer, acrylic lacquer over the top of it. Just brings them, makes them a little bit more vibrant as well. So we're just going to dry that off quickly. You can definitely see them yellows and reds better now that I've put that little bit of... I doubt that very much, Chris.
Mona, not about anything else.
Just let it dry quickly. And then we will just quickly turn the middle out. We'll be about finished. Right, so that's dry. Forgot how to hang the gun up then. But you can see by just putting that any lacquer, no matter if it's acrylic or cellulose, you just see it enhances those colours, just makes those colours look a little bit more vibrant. And it works exactly the same when I do the intrinsics or the carnival colours. That just makes them look a little bit more vibrant once you've put the a lacquer over the top of them.
That camera don't do it no justice again.
No, I know they never do.
No.
Right, so rule of thirds normally, so third, third, third. So maybe out to about here. Again, it's going to be more of a decorative piece than it is a usable piece. So what we'll do is we'll turn a little bit out, and then we'll just have a look at it, and then we can always take a little bit more out. So let's just gradually work this from back here. A little bit. We're just gently riding our bevel against our wood for a nice curve in there. So we're going to look at it. Definitely needs to come back further. So we'll take it back about another 10 mil, about there. We're going to use the tip of our gouge to cause a score point. If you try and go in there hard, it's just going to skip back and cause problems. So we just want to nudge our piece of wood just to cause a tram mark like that. And then we can start just gently causing our gouge to start to cut a nice steady shape. Don't force your gouge. That's when it could start skipping back. Let the gouge do all the cutting. If you find you're having to push on the gouge, then obviously you may have to sharpen. So we'll just get rid of this bit. And what I will do, before my last cut, I will change gouges and use a nice sharp gouge for the last cut. The other thing you got to watch for is if you try and come in at a too steep angle, being a finger grind, you're going to rub the heel of your tool. So you may be better off with a traditional tool or traditional grind. So we're just going to come back a little bit more, I think. Again, we're just going to get that cut started. And then we're going to bring our gouge into the angle we want. Remember, wherever the bevel points is the angle of the cut.
Woodwork learner put a nice, colourful, shallow funnel. Whoops. Chris Dodd said, nice, Steve.
Right, so let's have a look at that. I'm not worried about how untidy this looks at the moment. I'm more worried about the proportion. So third, just over a third. So I think I'm going to go for that. So we've got that there. So we'll have a look with the good old measuring tool, the finger, and yeah, that's about the right depth. So all I want to do now is clean this up. So I'm going to get a nice sharp end to my gouge. Let's have a look at that. Is that sharp? Yep, that's sharp. So we're just going to do a nice light final pass. Just really to clean that up, to get rid of any tool marks in there. And like I say, if you push too hard, you're going to get a little bit of bounce on there. And that could be because you're rubbing the heel of your gouge. You're trying to come in a too steep angle. And remember, as you come up to that middle bit is running half the speed of the outside. So you need to slow your feed rate down so you don't break out that center core and let it cut, not pop it out.
Woodwork learner said, looks nice ratio, Steve.
Thank you. Right, so what we're going to do now is just going to sand that quickly. And again, I don't want my sandpaper feathering over this edge. I want this edge nice and sharp. So like I said earlier, we're going to keep our sandpaper no further. Where's my drill? Here it is. No further than the edge. Once we get our sandpaper here to this edge point, we're not going to come no further out, because if we do, that's going to start rolling over the edge, and then we're going to end up with a curve, and we're going to end up with a nasty line here. What a nice sharp line along that edge there. So let's get that sanded up. So I could go with a smaller sanding pad, but we're going to use a 2-inch one. So bring that up, don't take it any further than that edge. So you can see we've got that nice sharp line there. What? All right, you can see we've got a nice sharp line there. We haven't got like it feathered over the edge. So make sure we're round, which we are. So that's 120. So we're just gradually going to take that up to 400. I don't normally Yorkshire grit in there, because you can get the grit over your acrylic lacquer and that causes problems. So I find it easier to just gently sand that up to 400, and then you can just seal it and finish it off with a little bit of wax. So again, every grit now I'm not going to take past, I'm going to bring it up to the edge of that line. Remember, you don't need to spend as much time on all the other grits, because you've already sanded it up to the grade you want. Surface flat, all you're doing is taking out the scratch lines from the grit before, so you don't need to spend so much time on the other grits. I'm just quickly going to whip up these grits. So the final one, 400. So there we go, we've got that nice sharp line on that edge. Sand up to 400 grit. As you can see, we've already got a little bit of a sheen there from sanding it. And here's the benefit of putting that little bit of acrylic lacquer over the top. All the dust just blows straight off of it.
Woodsley Summercraft said looks good, Steve.
Thank you very much, Rob. Right, so what we need to do now is just seal that. But what we need to make sure we do, we don't get sand and sealer over our paint. Because we're using cellulose sand and sealer, it'll eat into our lacquer and take our paint off. You could use a water-based, could use acrylic. So it's up to you, but I prefer the cellulose. If you're careful with it, you should be fine. Just gently nudge it out to the ends, and then it should be fine. If you get a little bit on your paper, get rid of the paper and throw it away, because if not, you're going to transfer it over to your wood. So just throw it away and start again. So just nudge it up to the edge. Going to let that dry. We're going to give it another coat, exactly the same as we have on all the rest of it. So I always like to give my pieces a couple of coats of sand and sealer, just to make sure it's nice and sealed. Then you get a nice finish with your wax. If you don't seal it properly, you will not get a shine on it. You'll just get a dull sheen on it. So that's now sealed. And as you can see, just nudging it up, you just get a little trace of the black on the edge here, where the sand and sealer has just attacked the black of our base coat. But it's not transferred to our wood, so it doesn't really matter. That blooming nail file. All I can hear is that nail file.
Sorry.
All right, so we'll just let it dry. You can come and watch paint dry. So just get rid of them while I was waiting. Right, so we're just going to denid that with our Scotch Brite. Again, we're not going to try and touch our...
Dancer of Aardvark says great colouring.
Thank you, sir. I'm hoping it looks like autumn. That's it, all nice and smooth. So just all we've got left to do really is just put a little bit of wax on there, ready for to finish off. So again, Hampshire Sheen High Gloss wax. So a little tiny bit, don't need a massive. Again, we don't want it over our colour, just want it on the inside there. I'm going to give us a couple of coats. So let's get a bit just to buff that up. And as I turn that, you should see that start to shine up. So a little bit of a shine on there. So let's give it one more. So this will be our final coat. Just going to get my safety cloth back just to give that a final little buff. Can't hear you.
Are you using the bit you used before?
Yep. Always use the second. I never throw this away unless it's either torn or it's absolutely caked in paint, resin, whatever you want to call it. Lasts quite a while actually. It does last quite a while. Right, so I think we're there. We're just getting air gun, blow all the dust off. Happy? Like that.
Robert said looking good there, Steve.
Thank you very much. So that is that. So as you can see, hopefully I've captured the autumn look. The camera doesn't do it. The camera makes it more yellow than what it really is. It's a lot more browner. I can't hear you, Nicola.
And it makes it look more blotchy.
Yeah.
Like so the colours are more covered up rather than how that does actually look, which is where they're more separated.
But let's go over to the other camera and have a look on that camera. Let's turn these off. Have a look on this camera. This camera might make it look a little bit better. Maybe, I don't know, I'm not sure, not 100% sure. But it definitely looks more reddy and browny colour than what it shows on the camera. But anyway, that's the principle. Autumn look, that's what I was going for. Whether I've achieved it or not, I'm not sure. That little bit of satin, not satin, that little bit of acrylic lacquer just seals it. You can see it's got a little bit of a sheen on it, which is not, I don't really like that too much, but you can't get away from it really when you put a little bit of lacquer over it. If you wanted to, you could put a satin or a matte lacquer over the top of it. There are many matte and satin lacquers out there, but other than that, like I say, it's just to seal it, make it to hold those colours in, really, more than anything. So, just an idea.
Susie said nice autumn colouring. Woodwork Len, a very nice autumnal piece, Steve. Looks
Thank
great,
you.
Steve, said Len.
Thank you.
Klondike said looks great. And Woodsley some craft. Yes. Apparently it was better on that camera.
Oh, good. As long as I look better on that camera. Like I say, them cameras, no webcam does any colouring justice. It just makes it look. Bleh. But this is where camcorders come into their own. Colour variations are so much better. But anyway, that's the principle. It was just playing with colours today. It's been a while since I've done any colouring.
Bob P said brilliant.
Thank you very much. Hopefully, I should be having a couple of videos coming out in the near future. I did one on making some gonks for the craft fair I'm doing next, or Christmas market, should I say, I'm doing next weekend. And then also one of the Harlequin bowl that I turned, which is here, which I will quickly show you. These are the Hampshire Sheen carnival colours. So I will be doing a video, well, I have done a video, but I will hopefully be launching a video on how I created this. It's quite a big bowl actually. The pictures on Facebook don't do any justice, but it's quite a nice sized bowl. So I will be showing you how I created that. These are the Harlequin colours. As you can see, such vibrant in your face colours, really nice colours. So yeah, that hopefully be out in the near future as well. Try and get that out at the end of this month, beginning of next. But there's quite a lot of footage to go through for that one. So hopefully be there. So other than that, thank you all so much for coming over and joining us. Let me just close some of these windows down. Really do appreciate you guys coming over. Hope it gives you some inspiration to go over and have a go. At the end of the day, those paints, I think those paints were under a tenner for the pack.
And tenner, that come up when I put it on.
Yeah, so, and you must get 48, how many's in the pack? 28, 48 colours?
I don't know, it's gone now.
But there's quite a lot of colours in there, and I mean, there's quite a lot. I mean, I've used not even a tenth of what's in the tube today. And again, it's like anything, you just use minimum amounts, just stopping it over and put it onto a black background. The black background will enhance the colours. If you used to put that just on the wood, it wouldn't look much. Put it on the black just brings the colours up further and just enhances the colours a bit. So worth a go.
So for the bowl, the autumn bowl, Woodridge Macron said really nice piece, and Debbie said looks great.
Thank you.
Frederick said looks great, thanks for the inspiration. Len said that looks great, Steve. I look forward to that video.
Oh, thank you.
Woodsley Summercraft said hopefully I'll get my lathe up and running soon. Woodwick Len said thanks Nikki, Steve and everyone. And Woodsley Summercraft said cool.
Thank you very much, everybody. Thank you very much for your time. I appreciate you all coming over and joining us. Nothing else to say, really. Nothing else to say. Just one thing.
Are you back Friday?
I will be back Friday. Hopefully, with Battle of the Makers. All going well. But what I was going to say to you is we are thinking about doing something a little bit extra for the British Heart Foundation. So keep your ears open for that. Got things in the pipeline. Need to speak to a few people, but hopefully we got something coming up just to create a little bit, just so we can raise a little bit more money for the British Heart Foundation.
For anyone that missed out that couldn't get over for any reason.
Yeah, we managed on the auction night. We managed to raise, or the total at the moment is £3,010. We managed to raise for the British Heart Foundation. So a massive thank you to everybody who donated, everybody who bought raffle tickets, everybody who bought items, and everybody who came over and joined us on the night. Absolutely awesome, even as always, entertaining. Went on for a long while, 3 and a bit hours, but it was well worth it because we managed to raise some good funds for a well-worthy cause. So, like I say, a few things in the pipeline just to try and boost that a little bit, but keep your ears open for the near future, and hopefully we're going to be able to do something that everybody can take part in and have a chance to win something. So we will keep our ears open, and hopefully that'll be announced in the next couple of weeks. So other than that, anybody who's a member of the 360 Club, Martin's Club, Les Vaughan demonstration tomorrow night. So there will be no live from anybody who I know tomorrow night. I think Doug's on Tuesday night. Wayne's on Wednesday night. Brian will be back Thursday night, and hopefully we will be back Friday night with Battle of the Makers. So, other than that, guys, if I don't see you before, I will see you then. So thank you everybody for coming over and joining us, and we'll see you on the next one. Saying bye, Nick.
Bye, take care.
See you later, guys. Thanks for coming over.
That's all, folks.